is Arno with the BGC. I'm here with my guest, Holly. Holly, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Yes, hi everyone. My name's Holly. I am Arno's friend from high school and excited to get this interview on.
Awesome. And what do you do for a living, Holly?
So I work in human resources. I actually work for the University of Calgary as an analyst on their total rewards team, and kind of more specifically in employee compensation.
In employee compensation. Okay. How did you originally get into this career?
So originally, I don't know, in HR, I didn't really know HR was a field until I was in university. Like I never really thought about it. It's not like I thought about it growing up or anything, or even really, I didn't know what it was until high school. So I started at the University of Lethbridge, just in a general management degree. And I ended up really liking my HR classes. So I switched to that major and kind of never looked back. I've really enjoyed the field so far. So continued in it.
Awesome. And so what does the day-to-day look like for you?
Yeah, so my role now would be kind of job evaluations and job reviews. So we work with like a broadband classification system at the university. So I would kind of evaluate what jobs fit into which roles, and then there would be like a salary band based on that structure. So we do that, kind of salary analysis and recommendation, organizational structure and design, and then also kind of market benchmarking. So we'd reach out and do salary surveys to see what, let's say, an average position's salary would be making in Calgary or Canada, or public sector or universities. So yeah, that's been
cool.
interesting.
So you said the word survey a lot. Does that mean your job involves a lot of math?
It does, yes, actually. Yeah, surprising amount of Excel work and analysis, and yeah, working with averages, and it's I think like everyone assumes HR is such a extrovert and you're talking to people all day, but I actually spend quite a bit of time in spreadsheets. So yeah, I think it's one of the nice things about HR. It's a pretty like diverse field. I think you can be a recruiter, or work as a generalist, or work in compensation or benefits or payroll or health and safety. So I think you can really like pick a role that suits your level of introvert or extrovert, or what kind of scope you want, which is really nice.
Yeah. Totally. So we already talked on this a little bit, and I know you mentioned you went to the U of L. What type of training or schooling do you need in order to get a job in HR? Because it's a broad field, as you were saying, and you started with a management degree and then went into an HR degree. Is this the only way to go into the HR field?
There's kind of different options. I wouldn't say every job requires a degree, but definitely can hurt. It's definitely a growing field, so I think more kind of diplomas and certificates and degrees have been becoming available in HR, which is really good. Myself personally, I have a bachelor's of management from U of L, and then I have the major in human resources and labor relations. And then kind of my last year of university, I wanted something that set me apart from other HR grads. So I decided to study and write the National Knowledge Exam, which is part of the CPHR designation, which is just like chartered professionals in human resources. So kind of just another thing that's added that kind of helps me find a job. So it's, I know there's a student membership, and then there's associate membership, and so there's different levels, and you can kind of get involved at any stage in your life. If somebody was interested in looking into it, I would say that's a good route.
And that was the N. Do you mind repeating that acronym for us?
Yeah, it was the National Knowledge Exam. So the NKE is it's pretty much a process, and then you have to write the National Knowledge Exam to eventually work your way towards a designation. So that's what I'm in the process now, and I'm just a candidate, but eventually I just have to fill out some things and get some experience under my belt, and then I can become fully designated in the profession. So
yeah. Totally. Yeah, thank you. So how does someone go about getting a job in this field? I realize we've been kind of all over the place here, but
yeah.
How do you go about getting a job in the field?
So I think there's a couple of things. If you're working somewhere now, I would see if they have an HR department. I know some smaller companies, it's often like the HR work kind of falls on a general manager type role. So I would say see what you can learn from them. Ask about like their processes, how do they recruit people, what's their payroll system like, do they have a training program? I think just like expressing your interest in the field of HR and seeing like if you can help with anything is super, super valuable. It can be like even minor things like scanning through resumes or making staff schedules or, payroll entry is like a good way to get into it. And you can it looks good on a resume and you can decide if it's something that actually interests you. I think in university, apply for their co-op program and do any kind of like student summer job related that you can find in the field. I can't stress this enough. I did co-op in university and I definitely credit it to be able to find a job in my field because it's pretty competitive. I also did a HR assistant position with U of L one summer, which was really valuable. I kind of got to see a functioning HR department, and that's not really something you can learn in your classes. So any like real life experience you can get, I think is really valuable to go forward with.
Awesome. Thank you. What are some of the challenges that you've faced in this career?
Yeah. I had a prof in university once tell me that in HR, you don't work for the employees, you work for the employer. And, out in the field, I think that really rings true. I think people often get into HR because they're like a people person and they love helping people. And that's definitely true to a point. And I think you are like there for the employees to help, but I think we also have to have pretty tough conversations and pretty like thick skin. So that can be a challenge. I think some days can be pretty draining because you are kind of working with people's like livelihoods, and so not like taking things personally and taking things home is a challenge sometimes.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you have any advice or tips for youth who would be interested in this career?
Yeah, I think, just work hard and don't give up. I know like it's a challenging field to break into, and I know a lot of people love saying like getting a job is all about who you know and your network and stuff, but I think that's also a discouraging statement if you don't know anyone. So I think, I applied for like 60 jobs out of university and had like 9 interviews before I got anything. So really just like keep your confidence in yourself and keep working at it. And yeah, I think it'll work out in the end. So
Totally. And I think that's great advice for any field as well.
yeah, totally. It can be discouraging, but I don't know. If you keep at it, I think that's really what you have to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I think you really shed some light on someone working in HR. It definitely isn't just like Toby from The Office, for example. There's a lot more.
Exactly. Yeah. If I think about like their HR department as a whole at the university, there's such a wide variety of people. So yeah, I think it's a very welcoming field and it's been great so far in my experience. If anyone, if you want to reach out to me, I'm totally happy to take anything. I can provide my LinkedIn or anything like that. So yeah.
Totally. And actually that's great to know because if any of you have any questions, we do have a form submission at the bottom of this page. So if you had any questions for Holly, feel free to submit those on our website and I will forward them to her. Or if there are an overwhelming number of questions about HR, then I'd be happy to book a separate Zoom session with Holly. We'll sort of play it by ear on that end. Otherwise, there will be videos posted throughout the week. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of cool careers, a lot of different careers coming up. Thanks again for your time, Holly. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, Marno. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.